Hi guys, it's James from Square Lemon Training. This is a video in the series How To. Today we're looking at burns, so this is how to deal with a burn. Burns can be described in lots of different ways. They can happen for lots of different reasons. We usually talk about first, second or third in the way of superficial, being a redness to the skin, second degree being partial, where it started to break down into the skin, and third degree being where there's starting to be a depth to the burn. When we're looking at burns, we can argue there's lots of different reasons people can get burnt. It could be radiation burns, it could be hot and cold burns, freezer burn for example. You can have dry burns, wet burns. For all of that discussion, when we're looking at the majority of burns that you're likely to come across in your workplace, we're actually going to argue the one first aid step is about cooling the area as quickly as possible. So you need to get your mind straight and you need to think, where is a source of cool running water? So we're going to do a demonstration in a minute using the kitchen here. But for us right now, let's think we're cooling it down. We're wanting to use cool running water, but if there isn't any available, then look around and be a little bit creative. I can very briefly give an introduction to a story a lady told a while ago where on the beach in Sussex in Brighton, she picked up a barbecue and unfortunately the bottom of the barbecue fell apart and the coals burnt her down her side and on her leg. In that situation, she ran into the sea to cool the burn down whilst her friends called the paramedics. So do think creatively about this. So bottles of water, milk, even soda drinks, although you might believe they're going to sting, if the burn's serious, the objective is to cool it down. I brought some bits along just to help us. So the first step is to get the person under cool running water to cool the area of the burn. But then from a first aid point of view, we can then go and get the first aid kit and get our gloves on. Obviously the burn easily leads to broken skin, which will be an infection control problem. Accepted in the last couple of years have been burns dressings. These are based on tea tree oil. There are other products. You can go to the main charities to buy them, or you can easily go to a local pharmacist or even supermarket. And I've brought cling film along just to show us that it is something that's usually available in workplaces and can really help the burn. What we're trying to do here for the first aid point of view is to protect the burn from infection, but also the cling film will offer us a way of keeping the burns dressing in contact. Okay, so we're going to cut over to the kitchen and have a little look at what to do. Hi guys, we've got Tori here who's burnt herself on her arm. So what we're doing is getting it under the cool running water. Ideally, if you had a mixer tap, you'd cool it down so that it wasn't cold. But here we've only got cold water, so we've got to do what we need to do. I've obviously been off and got the first aid kit. In the first aid kit, we've got the burns dressings. I've got some rubber gloves on now, and I've picked up the cling film. What we're going to do here, I'm going to open the burns dressing up. I'm going to then ask Tori to move her arm from underneath the water. I'm going to very efficiently apply the burns dressing, take the cling film, and then gently covering, not too tight, you don't want to stop circulation, and then Tori's going back under. So this gives us the benefits that the dressing, which is soaked in tea tree oil, will now stay in place. She's obviously continuing to cool down, and what we said was 10 minutes. We're then going to assess it. 10 minutes, assess, 10 minutes, so we end up with it up to half an hour under the water. The beauty of the cling film, it helps protect the dressing, but also helps to protect the wound. And obviously if there was a need for inspecting the wound, we can do that better through cling film. It doesn't stick, so don't panic about that. And this is first aid for burns. Okay guys, so let's recap what we're saying. With burns, you need to cool the area as quickly as possible. You want to ideally use a cool running water, but if you don't have that available, be creative. If there's a hose pipe, a paddling pool, you need to cool the burn down as quick as possible. The advice is 10 minutes, then you assess the burn, and we do that twice more. So in total, you'd be cooling it down for half an hour. We've shown you how to use a burns dressing and how to use the cling film to protect the burn. But in reality, if you don't have a burns dressing and you do have cling film, it's worth applying the cling film to the burn to keep out infection. So this is just one part of an emergency first aid or first aid at work course that we run on a regular basis. Please feel free to engage with the Facebook page, throw questions up there, let's get the conversation going, and if you want to enrol on a course, please do. They're run every month, very easy to enrol on. Contact me, my name's James, telephone number 01273 974040, or email me directly, james@squarelemontraining.co.uk. Okay guys, have a great day.